back in action this week after having the week off in Week 10 for their bye week, and they'll kick things off against Jacksonville on Sunday. Welcome to Weekly Matchup presented by Papa John's. I'm Tori Petry, filling in once again for Matt Shepard, and this week I'm joined by defensive coordinator Teryl Austin. Teryl, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're going to get into talking about this Jaguars offense, but first of all, the biggest thing that stands out to me about this week is that your defense needed a little bit of extra time to get healthy, and they got that over the bye week. How did that help you in that sense of getting your defense healthy?
I think anytime you get a week off in a season, it gives guys a little bit of rest. This game is hard. It's taxing on their bodies, physically and mentally. And so anytime you get a bye week, it's really a good time to rejuvenate. And I think we're good. We're going to, probably hopefully get Slay back and see how far DeAndre comes. But even some of the other guys who've been playing a lot of football for us should be hopefully feeling a lot better as we move into Sunday.
All right, well, let's jump into this film here. Chris Ivory is the first guy we're going to talk about. He's a guy you guys have faced before. 2014, he was with the Jets. What can he do?
He can run. He is an angry runner. You watch him. He's physical. He'll run downhill. He'll run through tackles. And he has their two longest runs of the year, both 42 yards. Here's one of them against pretty good Kansas City defense that you'll see. They're backed up, and they're going to give it to him, and he's going to make a guy miss. Then he's going to go through. Looks like he stopped right here, but then, boom, he just keeps going. And that's just kind of how he is. He's a hard runner, and he gets every yard he's supposed to get.
When you have a guy like that who can evade tackles like this, what do you tell your guys?
Well, the biggest thing is we got to make sure we take proper angles, and there's got to be more than one person, as you see, more than one person trying to tackle him. And I think that's important. The more bodies we get around him, the better opportunity we're going to have to get him down quickly.
All right, we can only get into so many clips here, but TJ Yeldon is another guy that they have at running back. When you have two guys that are threats at the running back position, how do you guys deal with that as a defense?
Well, you just have to know who's in the game, because they actually do have two different running styles, where Chris Ivory's more direct, going to be able to run over people like that. Yeldon is really shifty, catches the ball well out of the backfield. So they present a different challenge because of the style of run. So I think it's important for our guys to know who's in the game in terms of how you're going to attack them, how you're going to get them down to the ground.
All right, let's get into those receivers now. First of all, Marquise Lee, what does he bring to the table?
Well, I think he's a guy that when he came out, he had a lot of talent. I think he's been injured for his first couple years, off and on with injuries. I don't know if it's been anything real significant, but hamstrings and things like that. But this year, he's been very healthy and he's very productive. He's a guy that is a good route runner, very competitive, has good run after catch ability, and he's strong. He's strong at the point. He catches a lot of contested balls, and that's one good thing about a receiver. A lot of guys can catch it when they're open, but when guys are draped on you, can you still do it? And he has the ability to do that.
And this is an example of that here.
Yep, he'll be down here at the bottom, and it's going to get a little guy. And this is one of the rising young corners in the league that's a really good player, Peters. And he was able to run a nice route on him and get open down the field.
It seems like getting separation is one of the big things that Lee brings to the table.
He does. He's a little different. The other guys are bigger, where he's not a small guy, but he does have the ability to separate and get away from people.
All right, and then finally we have Allen Robinson, who we know from his Pro Bowl season last year that you've got to watch out for where he's at.
Absolutely. He's a big guy. He's a local guy, so he'll be coming home here. And what you see with him is he is, again, his Bortles go-to guy, and he's going to make contested catches. He's tough. He's big. He's strong. He's got all the things you need a good receiver to have. And so we're going to have our work cut out with this skill group because, again, if you have the three skill guys, they have a tight end who's really good. They have two tight ends that are really good, and then they have a quarterback last year who threw for the second most touchdowns in the league. So offensively, they're young, but they have a lot of really good talent. And so we're going to have to play one of our better games of the year to make sure we give our offense a chance. We give ourselves a chance to win.
Now, Allen Robinson had a good week the past couple of weeks, but fantasy owners will tell you he hasn't been putting up the same numbers as last year. So why is that? When you look at his fundamentals on film, why do you think that he hasn't been putting up the same numbers?
Oh, I don't know. To me, when I watch him, I don't know anything about fantasy football, but when I watch him, I know he's a good football player, and I know we better take care of him. So I just know when I watch him, he's still the same guy he was last year. He makes contested catches. He gets open. He's a quarterback's guy. And when they need a big play, they try to get it to him.
And then after this game here, the Jags switched offensive coordinators. Their quarterback's coach took over as offensive coordinator. How have you seen maybe their offense change since that happened?
It's just subtle changes. I think you can't make wholesale changes in the middle of the year. That would just throw everyone off. So I think what you see just little subtle changes in terms of maybe, when they run and pass, some of the routes they do, when they run them. But I don't think it's a wholesale change. So the things we're preparing for, I think we've seen, and we should be ready for it.
All right, well, the Jags have had a few issues of late, but the Lions are definitely looking to get things back on track after having their bye week. Thanks for watching Weekly Matchup presented by Papa John's. I'm Tori Petry for DetroitLions.com.